it would be enormously unlikely that any more great universities would emerge, with one exception, and that was us. I wasn't appointed a professor. I was appointed an instructor and with a PhD in hand, hung on there for 3 years as an instructor before they decided whether they were going to promote me or whether they weren't. So, and at the same time, I was teaching upper division undergraduates at the Heights campus. I was teaching in the night school at Washington Square. It was our conviction at the Heights that if there was trouble, then those folks down at the square ought to take care of it because we're fine. And they're just going to get us into trouble. I mean, that's a perspective. So that when the sale of the Heights was announced, it was a double shock because we're going to sell a campus at a time when one believed that universities and colleges lasted forever. You didn't close colleges. How did you ever do that? But that this one, I mean, no, we're the ones that's supposed to stay open. You guys are supposed to be doing the closing. And somebody says, oh, well, they sold the campus. Sounds so easy, and it wasn't. It wasn't easy. You have to understand that in most of the country, in the period of the mid-60s and early 70s, everybody was talking about trouble. And add to that New York City was up to its ears in trouble. And you could find people around who would say that New York City, as a world's great city, was finished. I mean, I don't think people remember that well at all. I mean, they know that there was trouble, but I don't think they realize how badly morale was shaken in the city of New York, and how our expectations about where we would be, and how we would be, and what good would we be. In a city that was going to hell in a basket. How were we going to handle that? I got a phone call and an invitation to go visit the president of PACE. And he said, I have a job for you as provost of PACE Westchester. So I said, oh, I went down and I saw Jim Hester. I said, I never called him Jim. I said, Dr. Hester, I got a chance to go and pick up a job at PACE. He said, that's a big mistake. He said, I have a feeling in my gut that if you stay around here, something good will happen. By the time I'd really invested, I'd really put all my money into this bank, if you know what I mean. And it always seemed to me I'd be damned if I was going to see this place go to hell. The most interesting thing about the years after '73 was that, one, you could tell the truth and speak out, and transparency was the call of the day. But the second thing was you could get things done because people had learned to believe that a place could actually fold. You came in and said, I think we ought to cut the enrollment in this particular program and open a program in X and Y. People look at that and say, let's do it. What are you waiting for? Now's the time. Make a move. Do your stuff. That sense of, hey, let's build, let's move, let's do, let's go. The fear is real. We were scurrying and everywhere to make it possible for us to say we're a national university. There was literally a game plan that looked like D-Day. It had all kinds of pieces to it to make sure that we were taking the work that was being done here and getting the message out. Here's the gamble. In any high school that you pick around the country, United States of America, there are only a couple of kids who want to go into a city to go to school. Now I'm talking about the 70s and 80s, and I want to go, 2 out of a graduating class of 70 who would consider that, okay? Those are our 2, right? Because if they want to go into a city, Do they want to go to Richmond? Right? Do they want to go to Miami? No. You say city, you say New York, right? That's our edge, right? And that's when we were throwing our dice. You know, if you want to say, hey, we pulled this off on our own, not true. New York came back, and we helped it, but we weren't the cause of it. All kinds of other forces were at work, and we were playing our cards right on that notion. What bothered me most about the history of the university was that we were very largely a professionally oriented institution. Business, medicine, law. And in the arts and sciences, you would have said there are only two places where we sort of ever liked to take a bow. And that was the Quran Institute and the Institute of Fine Arts. So if you expected that the university to hold its own, then the centrality of the arts and sciences had to be clear. And you had to make it manifest, and you had to bring it out and make sure that everybody understood. And to do that, you had to make sure that the arts and sciences were willing and able and did connect themselves to the professional schools, and that the university would be as strong as it could possibly be if those professional schools took advantage of the skills and abilities in the arts and sciences. The founding of the UAA was really about, if we were going to play athletics, it was going to be so much more sensible if we were playing athletics with schools who thought the same way and recruited the same way and treated athletics the same way. You'll be involved with institutions where you'll be proud to see that the flags that are flying around your gym. And I have to say honestly that I wanted in on that. I wanted to involve NYU in a level of class in the educational structure of the United States. When I came down here, I think back and I say, you stupid son of a gun, what you were doing is you were trying to bring the heights down here. That piece, you were trying to bring that piece of the heights into the environment, because this is a new thing for them. They're not just locals who are spending the week here and then heading home for Glen Cove. That's not going to be the way it will be anymore. So you got that right. One had to grasp a new vision and therefore have housing and therefore have a wonderful, engaging student life. And at the same time, you have a sense that the expectations that people have about a city, that the classes are in association with a town that's full of stuff, just full of stuff, and you got to have an opportunity to play in that stuff. And if you take that opportunity to play in that stuff, and we make it possible for that to happen, then being around the city really means something good, where your life can expand. I had a way to say it in those days, and it was that I don't really want to be in the Ivy League. I want to be in the new league. I want to be in the World League. I want to be in the league of universities around the world where our students should expect that sometime or other they'll spend some time. But much more interesting was the notion of what are the great cities of the world, and what universities are servicing them, and how close can we come to them so that the students get not just a shot. If you come to New York, you will get a shot, not just at New York, but you'll get a shot at any city that makes some sense in the world and make it a part of the way that you prepare yourself for the world that's coming. Everything we're talking about was part of a new vision that would be helpful in all aspects, in the recruitment of faculty, in the recruitment of students, in raising money, and all the rest of it. It was a notion that we were somebody, that we deserved to be in the company. Of the best universities, that we were a university which has at its core this potential to be one of the great universities. So if you want to be in a place that's going to look like the world will be, instead of in a place that looks like the world used to look, and you want to be where the world meets anew for the next generation, you try us.